going to talk with you this time about interviewing and then some specific guidance for my core homies who are going for buy-side and sell-side equity research. Every interview starts with some small talk and it goes right into the same question, right? And that's guaranteed to be there, which is walk me through your resume. That's your cue to give your elevator pitch. And you should always be ready to give your 2-minute story anywhere, even when you're on a can or when you're in your sleep. So there's no excuse to feel not confident, at least at the beginning of any interview, because you know what's coming. Remember, your interviewer already has your resume in front of them, so you need to highlight the most important things. And the other thing is, beware everything you share should reflect your potential as a working professional. So the part about you growing up in a village with no running water is touching and good for a Netflix special, but it doesn't tell me much about your professional capability. If you can say something with less words and get the same message across, use less words. Always, always, always. None of your responses should be more than 3 minutes, right? If you don't know what to say, if you're unprepared, write down your answers explicitly, rehearse it, and then time yourself. I tell you a story. During MBA, I had this interview buddy. Very smart guy, but the guy just can't get to the damn point, right? He rambles on for 5 minutes for every question. My mind started wandering off after the 3-minute mark. Doesn't help him get his points across when he can't be concise about it. I see tons of giant blob of text on online forums. Don't get me started. Take a look at this. So many sins with this piece. Run-on sentences, not using paragraph breaks. What's your point? Where's your question? Seriously, colleges need to stop forcing kids to learn how to solve for areas under a curve and more time on how to communicate and sell. You should be very concerned if you cannot communicate well, because people's attention span keeps getting shorter and shorter, which is made much worse by social media. Well, yeah, I would know that, right? So really get to your points up front. For example, tell me about a situation type question. What's the conflict? What did you do? What was the outcome? What is that story supposed to tell me about you? Ideally, 1 sentence for each question I just mentioned. Too many candidates start answering questions without thinking because they're nervous. I get it. 5 minutes into answers, they had no idea what the original question was or what the hell they were talking about. It really compromises your sales pitch as a candidate. And you can't get away with dodging the question like how this fake politician, well, it's Will Ferrell, how he does it.
How would you bring jobs back to the 14th District?
That's a great question, Carl. Thank you for asking it. It's the first thing I think of when I wake up in the morning, and it's the last thing I think of when I go to bed. Jobs in North Carolina mean what? A strong North Carolina. And a strong North Carolina means a strong America. And that, my friends, is how we're going to do it.
I think it's okay to pause a bit, to think, or even repeat the question back to the interviewer just to make sure you understand what the question was, and then answer the question. Your interviewer can ask for further information on anything you said. Once you have gotten your key points across, stop talking. When I interviewed for a big mutual fund, I sat in a room debating my stock pitch against 4 portfolio managers at the same time. That was pretty daunting, but that's not the point of the story. I wanted to impress and included some return on capital analysis that I found on the internet, but I did not understand the takeaway. One of the PMs asked me, well, what am I supposed to take away from this analysis? And I conceded I could not answer. So don't make the same mistake. Obviously, I didn't get the offer. If you cannot elaborate further on something, don't put it on your resume or overshare during your interview. It can all be held against you. I got a lot to improve on this area. When you speak more slowly and enunciate, you just sound more convincing, which helps your candidacy. Until you receive a written offer, never get too casual with your interviewer, no matter how friendly they are. They can be casual because they already got the job, especially with fresh college grads gunning for high caliber jobs like investment banking, management consulting, equity research, investment management, and so on. Part of the interview is precisely assessing your ability as a young professional just out of college. Can you carry yourself as a normal human being in front of powerful people like C-suite executives of publicly traded companies or institutional investor who manages $1 billion of assets. So remember that. I don't know about you. Dressing well just gives me confidence, and it puts you in a mindset of conducting serious business. Appearance, unfortunately, is the most effective way to gain influence and make the sale. Sad but true. If you don't look like George Clooney or Miranda Kerr, that's my definition of attractiveness, the next two best things you can do: dressing well and imitate. If you know your interviewer's name beforehand, do some homework on them. Stalk your interviewer's online presence, mainly LinkedIn, of course. Try to relate in any way you can. Maybe you went to the same college, or studied the same major, or worked at the same firm, and so on. It's just human nature to like somebody who is similar to them. If you don't know, say you will get back to them. Never make anything up. That's very specifically true for our profession, but also very important. Actually get back to them. That follow through, super important. Most people don't do that. I assume you want to be viewed as someone who honors their commitment, right? That follow through is super important. If you are a nerd like me who actually likes reading and listening to investing podcasts, that's what it is. But keep in mind, you are free to put down your actual hobbies on your resume as long as they are legal and not too controversial, right? The point is to bring some unique personality to your future team. There's no right answer here. I'm just saying, if you're going to put down reading, traveling, and photography, at least it doesn't catch my attention, either through resume screening or during the actual interview. Not a single firm likes flight risk, right? So you should try to understand the career path in the profession you're interviewing for and pretend to commit to the profession. So you need to be ready to answer the question of, where do you see yourself 5 years out? It's a stupid question in my opinion, but now you have a fake answer. Usually you're given 5 to 10 minutes at the end of every interview to ask your interviewer questions. The goal of an interview is to evaluate mutual fit. Also, you just never know. You might get those one-word answer everything type interviewer, right? And you have to deal with awkward silence constantly. So when you prepare enough questions, it shows that you care and have done the homework. It's impossible for you to know, in my opinion, what a job truly entails just from a job description or an HR screening call. So prepare as many questions as possible and focus on the ones you really want to learn more about. Firm culture, leadership vision, your future manager's work style, expectation of you on the job, how your performance will be evaluated, so on. These questions have serious implication on your career prospect at the firm. But don't ask any compensation questions. I don't think it's very professional to be asking about money until you have received the actual offer. For in-person interviews, few tips here. Arrive 15 minutes early, be on time obviously. You can schmooze with the security guards and receptionists to build confidence. I always suggest bringing a real pen and paper notebook for interviews. It projects a good picture of what you are like when you are on the job as a full-time employee. Most of us don't have superhuman memories, so write things down. It helps you remember the highlights of your interview discussion. And it helps you write that thank you email when you need to highlight what you guys discussed. And so on that front, always write a thank you email. Always. No question asked. I know there's certain situation you're confused. You say whether I should send a thank you email. If you're confused, send it. Keep it short. Thank them. Highlight the things you learned. Reiterate your interests and why they should hire you. Very simple. And for phone or Zoom interviews, first of all, make sure you have a good connection. Find a quiet place to conduct the interview. And I cannot believe I have to say this. Do not multitask during an interview. People have done actual or informational interview with me while eating, chilling at a bar, and even driving. Yes, that was ridiculous. I think I talked about it one time at one of our Q&As. And the person actually had the audacity to tell me that he was driving. That made the person very memorable in my head in a very, very bad way. Please don't ever do that. It shows a basic lack of professionalism and lack of maturity as a human being. If it's a phone interview, I can hear your posture through your voice. So make sure you sit in a good posture. and smile while you speak. I can hear your enthusiasm through your voice too. It all shows through. And with video interview, make sure you look into the camera when talking instead of looking on the side or reading a script, like what I'm doing right now. Now comes the research-specific interview advice. On a high level, buy-side and sell-side research interview cover 3 parts: behavioral, technical, and stock pitch. I'm only going to talk about the behavioral piece because I work with my clients extensively on the technical and stock pitch portions, which are more important. So you need to prepare good answers for the whys and the why nots. Why this firm? Why this sector? Why not buy side? Why not credit? Why equity? Why not investment banking, consulting, or sales and trading? And I think these questions are also dumb. You will get asked because people are bad interviewers. The truth is you should gun for every opening because sell-side research jobs don't open up frequently. You will take an interview/offer as long as it's not a bottom tier sketchy shop, which they exist. Yes, in an ideal world, we all want to cover hot sectors working under a respected analyst. But we will take that offer covering industrial stocks because we can start in equity research as soon as possible and learn how to cover an industry. Yes, covering certain sector is more interesting, but as long as it's not paper or packaging, we put up with it. Sorry, my paper and packaging folks, I still love you. Do you invest? Man, I hope you better say yes. I think more importantly, be ready to answer what stocks do you own in your portfolio? Why do you own them? It doesn't need to be a full stock pitch, but high level thesis and how you think about position sizing. Your long-term goal, right? Some sell-side research interviewer is very candid about the nature of the profession is that people come and go. But don't let your guard down and reveal that you are thinking about the exit opportunities. I know you are. I was too. The behavioral questions on the buy side are similar to the sell side research ones. Make sure you don't stumble on these extra questions. Are you a risk taker? Hell yes. Well, don't say the hell out loud. You are interviewing for a risk-taking role and be ready to describe a situation where you took significant risk. And again, like I said before, be concise. Are you a XYZ type of investor that is the same as the firm you're interviewing with? I would just play it safe and say yes. If it's a value shop, you say you're a value investor. Just simpler that way. What's your favorite book? Be able to share a book or two. And very importantly, you actually need to know what the book is about, right? Because not remembering what the book was about is basically the same as not having read the book. So make sure you know what the book is about. Favorite investor? Yes, you can say Warren Buffett, but I care more about your reasoning than whom you admire. Again, avoid controversies. If you're really huge fan of Rajaratnam, of Gallian, or Ivan Belsky, mention them at your own risk. I will play it safe. I assume you want to get the job here. Why hedge fund or why long only, right? Depends on where you're interviewing. This is a question of trying to understand whether you want to do long only or long short, which are very different investment styles based on my personal work and investing experience. I have included a link in my video description to my investment style primer video for you to dive deep into this topic and really understand who you are as an investor. Have a view on things. You can't make clients money by doing nothing and staying on the sideline. This is not sell side. I think it's not okay at all to ask investors to read a 50-page note. The conclusion is that they should do nothing. Please leave a comment if you have question or feedback. If you like this video, please click like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. More resources on my website and on my Instagram. I'll talk to you next time. Peace.